Are you responding to everyday sounds just like I did? Simple sounds seem very harsh. Your tinnitus responds to sound exposure and spikes up, even though you've probably been told otherwise. You are not imagining it. These kind of things are actually pretty normal and are being reported by many tinnitus sufferers. I've lived through this myself, and in this video I will break it down for you. What hyperacusis actually is, why your tinnitus reacts to sound and spikes up after that, what is making it worse, and how to start calming your system down without silence and without fear. And stick around because I'm also going to cover the part that most people get wrong. I'm Guy, and I'm a hearing health and tinnitus coach. I've been managing severe tinnitus and severe hearing loss for over 15 years now. Sound sensitivity comes in different forms, so it's really helpful to get clear on the terms. If everyday sounds feel painfully loud, that's called hyperacusis. And this is what I'm going to be focused on today. But let's quickly talk about some other terms that you may have heard. Misophonia is where specific everyday sounds literally triggers anger or disgust. This could be things like chewing sounds or tapping sounds. And you can imagine to yourself how bad this can feel if you're in a family dinner. Phonophobia is where sounds cause fear or panic. Some people use this term interchangeably, but they are not the same. I'm going to give you two examples for hyperacusis from my personal life. One sound that used to make me crazy is the clinking of dishes. If someone was taking clean dishes out of the dishwasher and placing them on the shelves, the sounds of the dishes and the sound that they make when you place them on the shelves used to drive me nuts. It was literally like someone took a needle and poked me on my skin. Another thing that I would never think will make me crazy is my wife speaking on the phone. If the connection she has on a call is pretty weak, she tends to raise her voice pretty loud. It used to make me crazy, and it was really hard for me to focus when she was speaking that loud and laughing loud as well. And this is my wife. Next, let's break down what hyperacusis is and what it is not. Hyperacusis means that your brain processes sound like it's dangerous, even if it's not. There are two main types. Loudness hyperacusis, which means that some sounds are way too loud. Pain hyperacusis means that some sounds actually cause you pain. This, of course, is not something that you're making up. And I'm saying that because, like me, you've probably been told that you're exaggerating and sounds are not that loud. And while stress and anxiety can amplify this effect, this isn't a psychological issue. It's literally how your auditory system reacts. Personally, I started to notice this when I was in busy cities. If I was close to busy traffic or drive really fast in a narrow street, that felt to me like a piercing sound. And even though these situations were not dangerous, I started to avoid busy traffic. But as I will explain shortly, avoiding sounds is only making things worse. And the next section, reactive tinnitus, explain why this gets much more complicated. If tinnitus or hyperacusis is overwhelming you and you want help managing them, I'm here to help. In the description below, you will find a link when you can schedule a free consultation with me where I will take time to understand your situation and create a personalized plan for you to get relief. Reactive tinnitus is when your tinnitus gets worse after sound exposure. This is especially true if the sound that you were exposed to were loud sounds. Your tinnitus may spike up in volume, in pitch, or you may even hear new sounds. The common feeling is that your tinnitus is much more intense. There isn't any formal medical diagnosis for this, but this is a very real pattern that many people report. And if you ever had to spend 1 hour on a video call where some people are very loud and had your tinnitus flare up right after that, then you already experience it yourself. For me personally, one of the things that makes my tinnitus spike up is going to a really busy restaurant where you have music, noise, multiple conversations while trying to focus on the conversation with your friends or family. A couple of hours in that situation will definitely spike up my tinnitus. So how do hyperacusis and reactive tinnitus related? And do you actually need two different treatments? Let's cover that next. So are these conditions the same thing? Not really. Hyperacusis is about sound feeling too loud or too painful at the moment. Reactive tinnitus is what happens after you're exposed to the sounds. You may have both, or you may only have one of them. But the most important point is that both lead you to the same trap, fear of sound, which leads to silence, isolation, and more reactivity. Now again, let me give you a personal example of what I used to experience that I hear now from other people on a daily basis. When I talk with people about sound therapy, one of the most common responses I get, I can't because my tinnitus is reactive. I used to be exactly the same way. I was afraid to listen to music, afraid to use sound therapy because I was concerned that my tinnitus is going to spike up. But in reality, I was actually making my system more reactive. So what does actually help? Let's clarify first what does not help. Constant silence, the overuse of earplugs, and avoiding noise at all costs. This path usually makes things worse. So let's talk about what actually helps. Number one is sound enrichment. Low volume, pleasant sound or music like soft nature sounds, ocean sounds, or even pink noise if you like that kind of sound, that you can use throughout your day, not blasting music, no loud sounds, just gently reminding your brain that sound is safe. In the description below, I share many examples of routines that you can use on a daily basis to desensitize your auditory system. Number two is strategic use of earplugs. Now, what do I mean by strategic? You do not want to block all sounds all the time. But if you know that you're going to be exposed to very loud sounds, you can use earplugs to protect your ears. Since we are at the beginning of July right now, a really good example will be fireworks. You definitely don't want to expose your ears to fireworks without protection. Another example is if you have to be next to really loud construction sounds, you can definitely use earplugs to protect your ears. Number three is CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. If going to see a therapist is not an option for you, I have another video on this channel that shows you how to use AI-powered CBT therapy. You can see that video right here. But whether you use AI therapist or human therapist, the goal and the point is to change how you respond to sound, both physically and emotionally. In fact, you can use CBT therapy to change any negative feelings and emotions you have about tinnitus in general. It really helps prevent further worsening of your symptoms. Number four is gradual exposure. You have to do this gently and at your pace, but the idea is that you reintroduce sounds into your life just gradually and in a controlled manner. This teaches your brain that sound is not dangerous. Number five is what we call nervous system tools. These are different relaxation techniques that you can do at your own home. Really simple things that include pattern breathing, muscle relaxation and tension exercises, and of course things like yoga, mindfulness, etc. This helps calm your system so your system is not overreacting to sound. On my tinnitus community, you can find those as well. Another example from my own personal life is the routine that I employ every day. I use relaxation techniques with sound therapy for about 10-15 minutes in the morning and 10-15 minutes in the evening before I go to bed. The trick is to do it every day though, not when you're feeling that your tinnitus is spiking. This really helps preventing things from happening instead of reacting to them. If you ever felt like your ear is moving from inside, like it's fluttering or throbbing really fast, you might be experiencing TTTS, which stands for Tonic Tensor Tympani Syndrome. This is where muscles in your middle ear are spasming. I'm actually going to create a separate video dedicated to this condition, but it's often related to hyperacusis, tinnitus, and sound sensitivity in general. So if you ever felt your ear moving from the inside, make sure to subscribe and turn on all notifications so you don't miss that video. Here's the bottom line. You're not broken. Your system is just stuck in protection mode. With the right approach and with the right support, your system can definitely calm down. Both hyperacusis and reactive tinnitus can definitely improve, but it will not come from silence and it will not come from fear. It starts with understanding what is actually happening and then retraining your brain to trust sound again. If you'd like to learn about another really good relaxation technique, watch that video here about vagus nerve stimulation. This technique is surprisingly effective. And if you would like to learn about tinnitus truth that I wish I knew a long time ago, watch that video here about 15 tinnitus harsh truths. If you have any questions or feedback, please use the comments below. I really try to answer everything. I'll see you in these videos.